Hello everyone, it's Infinity Gamer here, and today I am going to be talking about something reasonably large. This, the Bruteopolis Plaza from Brutal Cities. I love this bit of kit and I'm going to show you exactly why, but they've also sent me some extra stuff that I want to go through as well. Like this cool little comms tower thing, which goes on the top of that Brutal Cities Plaza, but it's too tall and you won't be able to see it, so I won't put it there, I'll put it here where you can see it. Little partitions which actually go in the rooms in here, and I'll show you why they're so cool and so useful in a second. These little objective data center server thingies, unpainted of course, but really cool. And then some Russian signs, which I've got no idea what they say, but they look really cool indeed. But one of the things I'm really excited about, and thank you so much Ryan for sending this over, graffiti decals. The reason why I'm so pumped for these is because I've been looking for graffiti for forever, and even though other companies do them, shipping to New Zealand and things like that is actually really quite expensive and they're difficult to get hold of. This is amazing because these guys are based in Australia, which is just over the ditch from us, so really accessible and really cool. So let's actually use this as the first thing to show you how easy these decals are to use and how cool they look. So the first thing you do to use these really cool graffiti decals from Brutal Cities is just cut out the one that you want to use, soak it in some water for a little bit. Then what I've done is I've prepped the surface by putting a matte varnish over it just to give it something to grip to, and then just placed it on there really easily. Looks cool, and then I've actually sealed it with a gloss varnish, or I've done it the other way around. Either way, varnishes were involved. One layer first, then put the decal on, and then top up with another one. And as you can see, it blends in seamlessly. I absolutely love this bit of kit. It's fantastic. I can't wait to throw this onto the rest of my Brutal Cities terrain. So let's get to the big story of this video, shall we? The Bruteopolis Plaza. It's amazing, and it's broken into several layers. So we've got this base layer here, which is the panic room area itself, or objective room, perfect for infinity scenarios. Then we've kind of got these two middle layers, which are actual playable rooms, and each one's quite different, which I'll show you in a second. Then this uppermost layer, which has its own balcony level, and then actually a top roof helipad landing kind of area, which I plonk this onto. It's fantastic. A couple of features that I really love on the exterior, this episode sponsored by Panhead, an APA that is smoother than smooth things. You can tell I don't work in marketing. Let's put that there where it's on the edge of the table and will 100% fall off at some stage, and I will be sad. So that's it. Hidden from view, but it's one of my favourite features. That bit there. So I love the fact that it angles upwards. It's got some really cool vents, which I have lightly airbrushed with black just to kind of look like soot climbing up the walls of the building, just to give it some character. What you're seeing here obviously isn't how it comes in the kit. It comes as plain MDMF. You can see hopefully in that quick shot there as to how it actually comes. You obviously cut it away, you glue it together. It's really easy. At this stage of me building it, Ryan didn't have instructions ready to go, and that didn't matter because it went together so easily that I didn't really need them, to be fair. But what I've done is I've primed it in just a flat grey, and then I've used my airbrush to do kind of like, you might be able to notice on this one because I haven't actually done this floor, but you can kind of see that there's a lighter grey areas there. So what I've done is use the airbrush to like create some contrast on the concrete, and then yeah, as you can see on the back, I've just used the black airbrush to just go up and create this soot effect. That's all I've done at the moment. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram if you want to see updates on how this baby comes along, because I'm going to be working on it fairly slowly. I've applied some rust on the bits that are going to be metal and chipping medium, and I'm going to be doing that in shortly. But yeah, follow me on Instagram if you want to see how this progresses. This is very much a focus on what you get with the kit and why it's so cool. How easily does it come off? Well, actually pretty easily. So this is its own segment, which enables you to play into the roof area. Now, one thing that you will notice very soon is that there is an elevator shaft that runs up the center of this building. That makes it really handy. You make up your own rules as to how you go into it and how you go up the various levels, but it serves a really cool purpose, which I'm going to show you as we go down the layers. So this is the terminal layer. There's a door, as you can see there. on one side, and then there's a ladder that goes up to the roof area. So all very accessible. This is a really cool sniper tower if you just use it as normal terrain and you're not worried about using it as an objective room. One of the things I love about all of Brutal City's terrains is that even though they're large and they look blocky, they are hugely playable. Many of my friends will play on this table and forget that you can actually move through the buildings because that's not common with all terrain. It's not easy to access and go through. Not the case with Brutal Cities and not the case with this building. It's very playthroughable, which is a real word, don't Google it. Next layer, what do we have? We've got the plain area here, which is cool because this is where you kind of get these desks really are useful because you plonk that in there and you've obscured about 50% of the room itself with lines of fire. So very easy for you to still get cover in these sorts of rooms. Next layer down, we're in my second favourite room, if I'm being brutally honest. So this room here, loads of rooms in it, so very classic CQB, but also has nice features. There's a toilet in there, which is very detailed and cool. A shower, a wash basin. The elevator comes up into here, and there are doors for every room so that you can play around and all that sort of stuff. I kind of feel, actually, when I'm looking at this, that this building is almost a game in itself. I feel like you could build a game around this building, and it'd be very cool. You know, fighting up through the levels, fighting through, all that sort of stuff. Amazing. Then we get to the bottom layer, the actual objective room itself. Couple of things I love about this room, and to be honest, if this is all you get from this set, is this objective room, you're going to be very happy for a couple of reasons. Doors on there slide up very easily. It's on a cool pavement floor, which a few of the other Brutal Cities buildings that I have as well, which again gives it a bit of thematicness and adds to your table quite nicely, including a drain, covers, stuff like that. The floor inside the building has got some cool patterns, which eventually I'll do something cool and useful with. I'm not entirely sure yet, and that's probably why this project is slower than I would like it to be, is I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do to, because this is the focal point of a building, of a game. You know, this is the objective room. For something like Panic Room, this is very important. I want it to look cool. But you have the elevator in the middle, which is actually a cool feature regardless of whether you have the layers above it, because it stops you from very easily being able to see all the way through the building. Now, in most Infinity games, you can't actually shoot through the building. You can shoot into and out of, but not through. But the other thing they often lack in Panic Rooms is a central piece of cover, so that even when you're in the room, you don't just have something being able to line you up as soon as you go in. This elevator shaft is fantastic because it does away with that issue nicely, whilst also being very thematic and cool. Another feature that I absolutely love about this Panic Room in particular are these veins on the side. The reason why I love them is because most objective rooms that I've seen have very flat sides, which means as soon as you kind of like come out to go through a door, you don't get the benefit of cover at all. Now with this, obviously, as you go around the veins, you don't get the benefit of cover, but it means you can end your turn on one of the sides, tucked into one of the veins, and get cover. A lot of the models can get cover. Obviously, this is perfectly designed for like an S2 profile, maybe even up to S5, potentially. But things like a tag are going to struggle to really tuck themselves in there. Obviously, they can on the corners and stuff. But I love this feature because not only does it look cool, it looks a bit different, but it gives you something to play around and play with as well. That is the fundamentals of this objective room, Panic Room setup that we can see here. I do love this design. It is the standard size that you need for Panic Room, 8 by 8 inches, so that's fantastic. And even though you get kind of like an extra inch of the pavement, you're maybe only getting half an inch, if that, maybe a quarter of an inch for these veins. So it has a huge presence on the table, and that's the thing that most people notice when they come and look at it on the table. I've played a couple of games with this as the centerpiece, and the first thing I do is kind of go, wow, like it is a stunning centerpiece. Like it does draw the eye straight away. And also it gets around one of the big issues I have with something like Panic Room or Biotech 4 or any of the ones where they've got a infinite height building in the middle, is that my little brain struggles to remember that when it's just a single level like this. But add all of the floors, and it is impossible to forget that this is an infinite height building. You've got your standard building from Brutal Cities is about this high. Surround this with that level of building, and you are under no illusion that this thing is infinite height and you're not supposed to be able to see over it or through it. You can barely see around it. that is a wrap up of my video on the Brutal Cities Bruteopolis Plaza. I really love this bit of kit. If you want a statement panic room, objective room in the middle of your table, I don't think you can go better than this. If you can, it's my ignorance, but I've had my eye on this ever since Brutal Cities have announced it. It looks even cooler in real life than I thought it ever could. It's stunning. It's beautiful. I hope I can do it justice with my painting. As I said, follow me on Facebook and Instagram to see how I get on with getting this on the table and things like this. I'm using some cool rust effect paint, which I'm going to document my usage of a little bit more on Instagram and Facebook. Already looks quite cool, already looks better than I can make it, but I've just got to get it done because this building truly deserves the effort of having, oh, look how cool that would be. Cool stuff done to it. Graffiti, signs, everything. Check out the Brutal Cities website if you want to see their entire range. I also will link to my other video that explains the Eternity Labs kit that I have used as well. That's a very cool piece of kit and is most of what occupies my table at the moment. Great terrain from Brutal Cities. I don't have a code or anything to give you because this isn't a kind of formal partnership thing. They just sent me this. I love it. It's cool. It's amazing. Check it out if you're keen. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch it. Drop a like if you want to see more of this, and drop a comment if you want to give me feedback on this building or anything else at all. Thanks so much for your time, and I will catch you soon. Bye.